I'm Stephanie Metz, and I'm based in San Jose, California. My primary medium for sculpture is wool, which I shape into freestanding forms. For 15 years, I've been creating sculpture that tempts viewers with mysterious, vaguely familiar shapes that appear firm yet soft, precise yet fuzzy, visually warm and inviting yet forbidden, as artworks so often are. But in 2017, I set myself the project of creating touchable objects for public interaction, with the goal of affecting social change. The impetus for me was increasing despair at social and political clashes. I wanted to focus on the opposite, what I want to see more of, a sense of social connection, even just for fleeting moments, reminders of our similarities. For years, viewers had been hovering over my sculptures, yearning to touch, and whenever I invited them to do so, they would then turn to their neighbor to exclaim over the experience, friends and strangers alike. I decided to harness that effect and change from making small, delicate work to human-sized, robust forms and presentations that actively invite touch. In January 2020, my solo exhibition, Stephanie Metz in Touch, debuted at the De Sausset Museum in Santa Clara, California, a free public space where visitors interacted directly with my two new bodies of work, the large, enigmatic, chrysalis-like hanging pods, and the movable, stackable, wearable, surrealist forms of holdables. Audiences quickly became participants. And besides engaging with the artwork, it was also clear that many were reacting to and engaging with each other out of a sense of shared wonder and camaraderie in the novel act of touching art. In Touch brought an element of community into the art museum experience. The pivot towards hands-on audience engagement demanded a cascade of innovations, since needle felting consists of repetitive, skilled hand labor. I had to find new ways to dramatically scale up my work while at the same time increasing my output under a 2-year deadline. When I invited volunteers to come help me in my studio at regular weekend felting parties, I couldn't have predicted the way strangers would become a tight-knit community, uniting in the cause of making satisfyingly tactile art. Most of my helpers were non-artists who were ecstatic to be part of the creation of real art. I taught them how to poke wool onto my prepared forms to help finish the surfaces, and a repetitive, patient process became a catalyst for sharing stories and nurturing connections. Volunteers became emotionally invested in the project and ambassadors of In Touch, as well as art making in a more general sense. I hadn't expected that asking for help from my community would become a benefit to that community as well. Providing a welcoming, tactile, novel, hands-on activity on a regular basis for 60-some people, diverse in age, background, and experience, provided a humble but significant benefit to each of us. And that kind of positive social interaction ripples outwards in a community.